on this, what was it, Trouble Tuesday. Didn't know we at work, decided to hop on, chop it up with individuals. It was the talk of the challenge going down the one of the curve. You heard me. Let me just set this up. Alrighty. Having a beautiful day. Just wanted to hop on, chop it up with the folks and the lokes. See what's good with everybody. What's good up in the hood. And for those who are curious, I just dropped a new video on this channel, right? Giving my perspective on the whole, like the feds working with the and whatnot. Alex Jones, what's good, my boy? What's cracking? Oh, Sal rep for the brocheros. Don't mean Mr. Pasa is definitely up in the casa for the raza. About to get up. That's right, my boy. From where? Like the good spots or like one of these fast food restaurants? Hey, but whatever does the trick, no? Shit, I feel you. I found that in 2 days, whether or not I'm to continue with my. I have not. I'll be moving back to another. All right. Hey, well, hopefully, you get the best news. We ate some mole today, my boy. We ate mole with arroz. Fuego. Yeah, my wife packed me some mole, so eso sí es amor. What's cracking like a dashful? Fast food president joint. All right. I feel you. Like one of these, like mom and pop diners, no? Yeah, you get a lot of those around this area. There's Troy Burger, Olympic Burger, fucking Sam's, Tams, fucking Tom's, and Jim's and John's, and shit is crazy. Que tíos y tías. All right. Interesting. Also, Dobbs wasn't nobody, but according to his paperwork, he did mingle with somebody's. No. Yeah, it's a. It's hard to explain the situation because then I would, have to dive into stuff that I'm not willing to dive into, right? But it just works different. It's a little complex, like the way the homies program is structured is just people don't really understand how it works. You get me? But like I said, there were nobodies like that though. Where's your deal, Trump at? Apparently fixing Christmas. Because that's a thing that has to be done. He's bringing Merry Christmas back. Because apparently it went somewhere. Where did it go? I don't know. Apparently, according to him, he said that he's bringing it back. He's bringing Merry, and people are applauding. Fox News literally put that shit on their thing, like if that was something that's actually real. Like, oh, hey, Trump is bringing Merry Christmas back. What? The fuck are you guys talking about? Where did it go? I'm telling you, bro, they create problems that are not there, bro. Like what? Because maybe a few people say, get offended, whatever. They act like if that's the status quo and shit. Now, these people are fucking ridiculous. They're way too sensitive. According to the YouTube, Dubs has 300 pages of different paper that will get released on. No, that's cool. See, here's the thing though. Here's what I'm saying. Whatever is on that paperwork doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whatever is in somebody's paperwork, they fall off, drop out, PC up, whatever, is irrelevant, bro. It's to nobody's concern except the people that are involved in the program and his neighborhood, right? Is the only ones that should care. The fact that paperwork exists, you need. Okay, this person's no good. He rolled it up. He snitched. He has paperwork on him. That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need to know the details. Like, okay, this person's no good. I don't need to know details on why he's good. He's no good. That's it. Because the details is irrelevant to, like, nobody should care for those details except the individuals that are involved. But to everybody else, all that shit's irrelevant, or it should be irrelevant. You get what I'm saying? Bro, Trump gave Clinton top. That's what they're saying. They're saying that he blew Bubba. I don't believe that though. The way the email, like, if you go and see the emails themselves, right, with Jeffrey Epstein and his brother when they were talking about the matter, it sounded like they were just joking around, like how friends do, like how you just tell jokes and shit. That's how the conversation sounded. It sounded like they were making fun of Donald Trump. You feel me? It didn't sound like they were being serious from the context of the emails. You get what I'm saying? But I'll tell you this though. Bill Clinton had a better relationship with Epstein than Donald Trump. If there's one thing I have, at least, or what has how it comes off to me, how people are saying Donald Trump. No, Donald Trump, and I felt like Donald Trump like Epstein because of how Epstein, had the plug for all these young women and the island and all this, weird behavior activity, right? But I felt like maybe Epstein didn't like Donald Trump as because, I don't know, maybe he seen him as reckless or stupid or just he highly of him. You get what I mean? Now, when it comes to Bill Clinton, though, it seems that Epstein and Bill Clinton were like peanut butter and jelly, my boy. It seemed like they were really close. You know what I'm saying? Which is, interesting, right? So I feel like maybe Bill Clinton is probably the worst one out of the bunch, followed by Donald Trump at number 2. I feel like it's Bill Clinton, then Donald Trump, then Prince Andrew, and then a bunch of other guys as actors and CEOs and fucking, all these people from different countries, like they're fucking governors and mayors and shit like that, right? Oh, Bill Clinton there for sure. I don't know if they had a strong relationship, but I know for sure that motherfucker's on there too, with his old deviant ass. But I feel like Bill Clinton is probably the worst one out of the bunch, though. And then Donald Trump at a close number 2. Menudo or pozole? Oh, pozole, my boy. But don't get me wrong, menudos también it's up there. It's up there, highly up there, right? Because I do love both of them. But I think I prefer pozole than menudo. The fact that you tell, that's all that needs to be said though. Like, telling is telling. You're no good, no good. You get me? Is First Street Burger still First Street Burger? I don't know. I don't. Maybe. I haven't seen that one. We used to have a gym spot. Serio? I know there's a bunch. There's gyms all over the damn place. Lucky Boys. Oh, Tops? I actually have seen the Tops. I saw. Why do the brothers condone people who shoot their kids in it? Well, no. I don't think that the brothers condone that. I think those individuals that were speaking, they condone that. You get what I'm saying? Like, just because those brothers like that doesn't mean that all brother gangs move like that. You get me? Meaning, like, the individuals that were talking, they condone that, right? Because I'm pretty sure other brother, probably don't move like that. Now, I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. They probably do. I don't know, right? This is my, speculation, right? I'm not gonna pretend like I fucking know the workings of all these brother neighborhoods, right? But at least, you know, it would be reckless for me to assume that they're all like that or that they all move like that. I don't know. There's some individuals that think, um, that they should just be able to do whatever they want. I don't know. To be honest with you, that type of mentality is strange. They say that brothers don't clean their own trash too. And that's here's one thing I'll tell you though. You you can have knowledge on a groups, from watching them, right? Um, let's say incarceration. You guys are incarcerated, right? You can see how the brothers are moving and do their thing, right? So you can pick up on certain things. But no matter how much information you gather, no matter how knowledgeable you are in the workings of something, it would never truly be the 100% of the workings unless you are a part of that group. You get what I'm saying? Like a person could hang out with a gang, right, and know all the homies and kick it and chill and know everybody, right? But he will never really understand how the neighborhood works unless he's actually a member of the gang, right? Because there's just certain things you're just not gonna know unless you're an actual part of it. You know what I mean? So to say that they don't clean up their own, trash, whatever, right? Going based off just maybe some incidents that they have observed or they have seen, right? But they don't know that. Like, how do you know? Like, were you there? Are you a part of that group? Like, are you sure? Do you know of every detail? Do you know of every, movement and scandal? Like, you get what I'm saying? Because those who are a part of it, they're actually going to be the ones that are making the moves and doing other things. So they're going to have that knowledge, right? They're going to know what's being done, right? Like, you're not going to be able to tell me what my neighborhood's doing. You get me? I know how my neighborhood moves and what we're doing. You just can't tell me that, no matter how much knowledge you or research you think you have on my neighborhood, you will never, know as much as, individuals that are from the neighborhoods. Right? So I can't say that these individuals don't do that because I'm not a part of that. So it wouldn't be right for me to come and assume, that that's how they move. You get what I mean? Most people, when they make comments like that, from either side, Mexicans can snitch on blacks or blacks don't check paperwork, are individuals who say that out of spite and out of ego, right? Try to make yourself seem superior to the next group. You get me? Like, well, we're better than them because we check paperwork. Or these guys, we're better than them because we don't snitch on other individuals. You get what I mean? But it's like they're trying to discredit the next group. They're taking shots without making it seem like they're taking shots. But in reality, that is what they're doing. They're power tripping, pues, It's kind of like the thing where if a white person kills a black person or if a white person kills a Mexican, it's made a big deal. If a black person kills a Mexican, it's made a big deal. If a Mexican kills a black, it's made a big deal. Right? But when our own kill our own, a white person kills a white person, a black person kills a black person, or a Mexican kills a Mexican, nobody really makes a scandal out of it, or nobody makes an uproar. Why? It's the same thing, a person taking another person's life. But why is it more of an outrage when it's a different ethnicity that's doing it, though? It's still murder, still another person losing their life. So why is it blown up, or why is it more of a scandal if it's a different group that's doing it, though? That only shows people's prejudice, their kind of racism, right? It's almost like, well, you can kill your own, but another group can't touch your own. Like, that's just strange, right? You would figure that you would be outraged anytime it happens, because it's wrong in general. But it's made extra when it's a different ethnicity for absolutely no reason. It should be an outrage in general. It's like that behavior, like you just want to make your group seem like you guys can do whatever you want, or that you guys are superior than the next group, like even to the point where it's like if your own is killing your own, but another group can't. Like, for example, like there's individuals that have fell off, on all sides and told. But then when they want to say like they don't clean up their side, or these people are allowing, they could allow to snitch when all groups have all trash and snitches. Interview when she, oh, good interview. Órale, órale. What's the worst? What's the worst? The worst news channel? All of them, bro. All of them equally suck. All of them have agendas and they paint the stories however they want. Like there's sometimes where the left blows Donald Trump's like the people that he puts in charge and the moves that they make, they blow it like completely out of proportion, right? And well, you already know that the right always just lies about the left, right? So both news are feeding you bullshit, right? You just gotta know how to decipher the shit they're talking. You know what I mean? Like because they're both actually talking about actual real stories, right? But they're just putting their own spins to it. You get me? I'd rather watch independent news. That's popular because obviously, but I'd rather do that than listen to these. Like, I'll scope out the stories from like the right side of the news, side, and the left, right, and then weed out all the crap. The things with the tell story about other people, but then that's like he was the one winning. That's what I'm saying though. Like, he like adds extra to the stories or lies about right. So it would make him like the worst. If he is an informant, he would probably be like the worst type. If he's working with the feds, right? That's what I'm saying though. Because it's like people are saying they're discrediting him because he's a fraud like this, right? But at the same time, they're saying, well, he works with the feds because he did brief because he was running around with these type of individuals. So they're putting him on a high pedestal, but at the same time, they're bringing him down. So it's like it's either one or the other. Like people can. It's at the convenience they elevate him, and at the when it's not a convenient, it's like that's just not how it works in the real world. Like it's either he wasn't putting in no work and he was just a fraud, or he was actually mingling and rolling around with these individuals. But which one is it though? As far as he just whole stories from his. I know, but see that's why the partnership. That's why their partnership worked though. Before, because Gunner had the charisma, the personality. He's able to keep people entertained. Because Dubs lacks that, you know what I mean? Because Dubs is more serious, so he lacks that type of energy and charisma. So that was the thing that was lacking from his channel. Gunner was lacking the actual, credibility, like the actual like people actually believing and thinking that he's righteous. They kind of just see him as somebody that just makes them laugh, entertainment, right? But they really didn't believe him. So when he associated with Dubs, Dubs brought that. He brought the credibility and the seriousness, right? Says, hey, if I was really such a lame and a fraud, would somebody who's actually credible be associating themselves with me? So he kind of seen it like that, right? But then now that it has backfired, right? Because now that the paperwork is out on him, it's kind of like that burst their bubble. That's why they're not thriving as much no more. But it's like they needed each other because they both covered each other's weaknesses, the credibility and the charisma. You know, they felt like that was what made Thanos work because they came the thing that they lacked. And in reality, it was working for them. Happy Taco Tuesday. Nah, not for that guy Toro, right? I seen the Terps. His channel, he uploaded a video where that fool went on King Taco and I don't know, he rage quit. he got offended for some strange reason. I don't know. He got offended because the people didn't give him back the same energy he was putting out. I don't know. It's like, well, I know you don't talk about this, but what are your thoughts on social media that every suspect aspires to do life in prison to become a legend? That is not true, bro. That's just not true. It's a myth. That's a lie. Not everybody's trying to be stuck in prison for the rest of their life, and not everybody's trying to, climb up ladders like that, bro. Sir, some individuals, that is their goal, right? And not even so much to the point where, like, let's say that was their goal, but once they end up doing a crime and they get caught, right, and they end up doing a long time or life, and maybe then they strive to become whatever they want to become, right? Maybe then it's like, okay, well, since I'm going to be here for the rest of my life, then I might as well, I need a purpose, right? So I guess this will be my mission from here now moving forward, right? But to say that every individual that's their goal or inspires is just ridiculous in itself. It's dumb. Excuse me. All right, people. Are the people Epstein files gonna go scotch free? Depending how deep their crimes go, depending the activities that they were like involved. Like, let's say, okay, example, if they were just investigating Epstein, right, and these people were just like these rich higher ups, right, they probably didn't go that deep into that because of who they were, right, because of the status that they had, right. So they kind of like, I guess you could say, look the other way because they were just looking to bring down Epstein. Epstein was the goal. Epstein was what they were prioritizing. Epstein was their target. Even though all these others are on here, right? But because of who they are, that's why they, really didn't start investigating them. Like, it didn't sprout other investigations. Like, you would think with all these names, then they would have started investigating all these other people, right? But because of who they were just like, well, if Epstein is our target that we're actually looking to bring down, then let's just stay focused on him. Even though we already know if it would have been any other person or any other group of people, they would have built an investigation on all these fucks, right? But because it's people with money, bro, hey, as long as they don't know, then they can spend that, right? Like, if they don't investigate to see and find all these scandals, then they're able to trick themselves to believing that there's nothing there, right? But now that they're being pressured, right, then now everyone's going to have to start getting investigated. And then you're going to see how many sick fucks there really was. And there's going to be a lot of them, too. Because people with money, bro, they feel like they feel like nobody will be able to touch them, bro. That's why they do all this shit that they do, because they feel like they're untouchable. And to, a certain extent, that is true, though. Right? But now the power dynamics has shifted. Now with the internet, social media was probably the worst thing that could have happened to these rich people. Because now people get to see how they really are, how they really behave, how they really get down. Like there's a lot of like, for example, like a lot of like, let's say celebrity athletes that people looked up to and were fans of, right? But then now watching them on social media and actually them interacting, outside of their movies or, you know, games or music, people get to see the real them. And sometimes people don't really like what they're seeing, right? They're kind of like, man, I used to think this fool was cool, but man, he's kind of an asshole, man. He's kind of a fucking lame. You get me? It just burst the bubble. Like, you know what? A lot of these individuals ends up happening to them. But since their egos are so big because of all the fans that they have, that's why they're able to act, the real selves, right? Because they're not able to tell how, like, aren't you able to see how you're behaving bad, right? But to them, they have all, no, I mean, everyone idolized me. Why change? I don't have to change nothing about myself. Look at everybody. So they thought that they were never doing nothing wrong, even though, well, no, you don't know how to behave. You get what I mean? As a matter of fact, a lot of these people have, like, they're always in some drama and some bullshit, bro. It's like, damn. Like, don't think just because they're CEOs and all that they don't have no skeletons or that they're not shady people. Everyone thought Bill Gates was a nice guy, whatever, but if you look deep into his actual life, you start to see the cracks, though. I mean, his divorce with his wives, his kids not speaking to him, so obviously all that isn't right. But people are like, no, 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 he's a good guy. Look at all the money he's made. Like, supposed to like mean something though. But it does some people who speak English. Then it's I mean, I understand though. Like, people are gonna dislike, groups, bro. You always have individuals that are just, and I can see it, right, because of the organizations and what they stand for, right. So I don't blame people for that, right. It just is what it is. Like, I understand when people say that they don't like gang members. I'm not offended by that. I understand from the moral aspect of it, right? As long as they just don't insult me, as long as don't be like, hey, you know what? Fuck you, you lame, and because then we're gonna have some issues, right? But I could from the sense of why they, individuals like us. You get me? But as long as they're not directly trying to insult me, then I get it. In Fresno. I remember I made a video about that, and people were like, "No, there's no Bloods and Crips in Northern California." Yeah, he was. I don't know about all that. Hide their dirty laundry. Yeah, like, but because it's not that they're hiding their dirty laundry, it's that it's nobody's concern though. Like, that stuff shouldn't matter to nobody except members from those groups, though. That's what I mean. It's not supposed to be like just like spoken about that like on the internet. It's kind of like saying, for example, everyone talks highly about their family, right? But even we all know that everybody's family is not perfect, and people, they make mistakes, and maybe some of the family members are not the best of people, right? But you're still gonna defend them. You're not gonna let somebody like insult you. Like, let's say your brother is an alcoholic who has drug problems and sleeps with prostitutes, right? But you're just not gonna let somebody come and insult them, right? And you're not gonna belittle them like when you're speaking about them, like, oh yeah, my brother, he's a cool individual. Yeah, he's right there. You get what I mean? But you can see why it's done. Gangs work in the same way when people be like, they don't understand why individuals, put their gangs highly when even though they, it comes with problems and everything like that. But they fail to realize that the love and bond that people have for their families is absent from these individuals when they join these groups. They're looking where to put their family love and trust in, right? Because they feel like they don't have it at home. So they apply it to the gangs. Everything, emotions that go into normally applying it to a family, these individuals apply it to the gangs because they don't have they're looking for where to apply it. So they apply it here because they feel like they don't got it over there, right? So it works in the same way, like you wouldn't let someone insult your mom or like people think that these individuals are just pretending to get mad or pretending to care. No, they're actually getting mad and they do actually care about these things. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's hard for people to see it that way because they have a good bond with their family, right? So it's like it must have been lovely, right? But some individuals don't have that luxury. Some people don't have it as lovely like that, right? Some people, like, just because you have a good relationship with your parents doesn't mean that everybody grows up the same way, though. Unfortunately. Oh yeah, is that? I mean, this week it's probably dropping on Friday or Thursday. This week, and it's going to be on this channel. So yes, that is coming. I actually talked about that on my video. I don't know if people seen the live that I did on Thanksgiving, but that's when I talked about it. The G series is coming, but it's coming now to this channel, and it's coming this week. So now you'll be able to find them here in this channel. I don't want my taxpayer dollars. Yeah, but that's the thing, though. I mean, these prisons have to get paid somehow. Like you gotta. Where else are you gonna put the people that are breaking the laws and committing crimes, though? You gotta put them somewhere, and they gotta. I mean, these places have to be, run somehow. You get what I'm? Because remember, just because a person commits crime or doesn't mean that he can't life or that he's a lost cause or that he can't be rehabilitated or that it's pointless. You get what I'm saying? Sure, there's some people that you just can't help them, right? There's some people that really are lost cause, but not everybody though. So it just comes with life. Everything that happens in prison is the business of every taxpayer in the state. How so, though? Like the people break the laws, they get put in there, right? But what exactly is going on in there, right? It's irrelevant, though, right? Because you still have to store them somewhere. You get what I mean? Like they still have to be locked up, regardless. In knowing about what they're doing is not gonna change anything, though. It's not gonna, not gonna, like, knowing that you not knowing you knowing is not gonna make a difference, though. It's not what is it gonna change, though? Nothing. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's say, you're putting your taxpayer money in all this, right? But like you knowing the information, how is that gonna change anything, though? Yeah. Facts, though. Yes, they're not doing their jobs right, but that falls on the administration, not on these individuals, though. You get me? These individuals are bad people. That's why they're in here. So we already know this, right? It's the job of administration to rehabilitate these people. The problem is with the administration, not these individuals. You know what I mean? You know what? Look up penitentiaries in Sweden. How Sweden does things. Actually, be surprised and interested, and it's backed up by statistics of how they handle their inmates and how they go about it compared to the United States. And there's a reason why most people who go to Sweden prison, they don't reoffend and don't end up going back to prison, and they don't even have like, you know, a lot of amount of crime within the prisons, but because of how they do things, right? If you want, like, wow, I'll probably put a link to this, right, where it breaks down that, and you guys will actually, and it's actually backed up by data, right? So it's not just like speculation, which is the opposite of what El Salvador does. You know, Sweden actually helps and has all kinds of programs, but like, people see it kind of like as, well, that's not a punishment. That's where I bring those conversations up from, because I read the comments and people be like, well, that's not a punishment. They're not really being punished then. But I'm saying it works though. It works though. You get me? But people, I guess they're not like, like it actually works and there's solutions, but people are just not, it doesn't satisfy, like, nah, well, even if it does work, I feel like these individuals need to get punished worse than right there. It's kind of like they're living at a hotel or something. That's just, they don't see it as but even though it fucking works though, they're not satisfied with the punishment though. So like, so you rather fucking punish, like satisfy your fucking ego and it not work than actually fucking fix the problem? So you're not really looking, you're just looking to satisfy your own fucking egos then. It's fucking crazy, bro. Like, they have the solutions. People just are, that's not satisfying their hunger for fucking revenge. People are talking about people shouldn't hold grudges and revenge, and society's fueled by that, bro. They just use it at the convenience. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We got to get back to this. Good job again with you guys, and we out.